Kia ora, g'day, welcome back once again. Here with a reaction video, another Mr. Magoo reaction, backed by popular demand. And this one is titled, Why Did You Lie? Taylor blasts Albanese over capital gains tax, CGT, negative gearing broken, and then it's got ... So anyway, let's jump into this one.
And I give the call to the Honourable the Leader of the Opposition.
My question is to the Prime Minister. Why did Labor lie to Australians about your plan to tax them more?
Get him, bro.
Order. I just want to deal with the word lie, and I have a number of order. We just want to make sure that it is not directed to a person. Former speakers have directed it to parties, political governments. So I'm just going to be careful.
I just want to address the word lie. What the hell? What a load of rubbish. I don't even think he directed it directly at the Prime Minister anyway. He should do, because my thought, the Prime Minister is the spokesperson, isn't he? For the party, in this case, the Labor Party. I'm pretty sure he said, why did the Labor Party lie anyway? Actually, let's just go back. What did he say?
Prime Minister, why did Labor lie to Australians about your plan to tax them more?
There you go. Why did Labor lie? He didn't direct it directly at him. Who's that guy? Is that the Speaker? What is he? A Blinken support? Oh, look at that twat Hastie's in the background. I just noticed that now. Bloody ball bag. Anyway.
Order. I just want to deal with the word lie, and I have a number of order. We just want to make sure that it is not direct governments. So I'm just going to be careful with that word today to make sure it's not directed to an individual. Just putting everyone.
Why not? I mean, if somebody lies and is seen to have been the perpetrator of the lie, why can't you direct the word lie to that person? Mr. Speaker. Is that the Speaker of the House? Is that how it works? What a crock of bloody bull tucks, if ever I heard it. We don't want to call somebody specifically a liar. Well, what if they are a liar? Albanese is clearly a liar. There's video footage all over. Have you not seen social media? Bloody hell, man, wake up.
On notice, I've got a list of examples here where we can have that withdrawn.
Oh, what? You should have said, I've got a list of examples here where we have seen the lies. The power reduction costs, the capital gains tax and negative gearing, the bloody whatever else he's lied about, the falling off the stage. Like, it's mad.
So as long as everyone knows the rules, we'll be fine. Give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Leader of the Opposition for his question.
No, you don't. You don't thank him. Don't lie. You're lying again. You're lying right in the middle of Parliament House, thanking the Leader of the Opposition, which is another lie. Why are you thanking him? I thank the Leader of the Opposition for his question. You're saying that verbally, like the other verbal diarrhea that you've spoken about, but it's not true. Again, another example. What a little weasel. Some people can just continue to stand and tout rubbish, even though it's clear and obvious to seemingly the vast majority of Australia starting to wake up now.
We are changing the tax system to give young people a fair crack at their first home. That is what we are.
Look at all those heads in the background. Here, yes, that's right, to give young people a fair crack. Did they speak with and have they spoken to many young people in Australia, the Labor government, to get an understanding of, here's the changes we're looking to make so that you can have a fair crack at getting a home in Australia? Because it doesn't seem like it. Young people going out on social media talking about it. It doesn't seem like they're very happy about it. Yeah, man. Anyway, let's carry on.
That is what we are doing.
Order.
Mine, 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 mine. Listen to the seagulls in the background, man. Or the hyenas, whatever you want to bloody call them. Right.
Order. Order. The member for Forest. Order. Members on my left will cease interjecting. Prime Minister. Order. There is far too much noise. We are not. Order. We are not.
Oh, bloody hell, mate. Order, order. Ugh. Yeah, I get it. They, quieten down for a bit, but just crack on. Like, clearly, the vast majority, well, I don't know about the vast majority. Clearly, there's a large part of Australia that just does not agree with Labor. How they are still so, I guess, seemingly high in the polls, they've only dropped to second and not lower, is beyond me. I have no idea. How is that even possible?
If the member for Herbert has a prop, he'll not use that. Great. Just putting him on notice as well, so everyone's crystal clear. No props today as well. If any props are used, you won't be here for the remainder of question time.
What the hell? What is the point of question time? No props. Can't call people out for being a liar when they are clearly a liar and they have lied. And you can't you can't voice some opinions. I get that. Yeah, you want to get on and crack on with the rest of question time. But it seems pretty quiet now. Like, let's get things moving along and let's hear a bit more. Real news, honest views. Sky News, it says here. This guy's sitting up in his chair. I get he's got a job to do, but what a crap job. What a crap environment to be in there, in that space, just looking at it, just listening to it.
When the House comes to order, we'll hear from the Prime Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. This is a change in our policy, and I'm upfront about that.
This is a change in our policy, a change of position. We lied our way to get elected or re-elected, and we're here now, and so screw you, Australia. We're going to change our position and disguise it as though we're doing it for the future generation. What scumbags in there? The ladies in their background, the men in their background, the Prime Minister at the forefront. Just bloody toads. Little weasels, man.
But unless we act now, we're looking at a generation missing out. And indeed, someone who was appointed by the Leader of the Opposition.
Order. The
Even with the microphone and the volume turned right up, is Blinken being drowned out.
Had this to say when reflecting about how their political party was going. I quote, "We were timid. We weren't prepared to lean into the challenges and the lived experience of the next generation of Australians. I'm quite happy to put things up that will robustly challenge the status quo if it means we're going to build a better future."
The member for Herbert will leave the chamber.
I don't know who he's quoting there or the quote, but I'm assuming it's from an opposition leader saying that they were timid. It's just, hopefully the opposition leaders have got quotes of their own. I would like to think that they can throw back towards the Prime Minister and the Labor government.
He's holding up a prop. I've asked him not to do that. He'll leave. We're not having props today. I can be crystal clear on this. Nice try, but we're not having them today or any other day, okay?
It's like a courthouse, eh? You got to bow to the person. What is the point of all that rubbish? Why do you have to bow? It serves no purpose. Like, the guy that he bowed to didn't even acknowledge him. He's basically just told him to get out because he's holding up a prop, a newspaper. So the guy did the right thing, bowed, went out. The guy that he bowed to didn't acknowledge, carried on yapping away, and I don't even know that he saw it. At least in the military, when a lower rank or subordinate salutes an officer as part of the protocol, that officer salutes back. I've not seen an officer not salute back, unless you're in the regiment, but then you're not saluting officers anyway. Unless, very formal, structured occasions and that sort of thing. But the fact that this person seems to have followed protocol, may not have listened in terms of not holding up a prop, but followed protocol, like that, isn't that outdated? Isn't that something else that needs to be overhauled as part of the whole political system? Why do I need to stand and bow on the way in, way out, or whatever? Like, what purpose is that serving? Same in a courtroom for judges. People are already standing for you. You know, please rise for the honourable whoever's coming in. Isn't that enough? What do lawyers and other people have to bow to that person as well? It just seems stupid to me. Anyway, poor old mate here's been kicked out. He didn't even get acknowledged for his bow, so he could have probably given the speaker the finger and the speaker wouldn't have even seen it.
See you there anyway,
It's far too much noise. The House is going to come to order and the Prime Minister is going to be heard in silence.
That was the Shadow Treasurer talking in February. Words of wisdom and reflection from the Shadow Treasurer. Words of wisdom and reflection, Mr. Speaker.
Listen to this, eh? Just trying to hide and pull down whatever the opposition said. I don't, whatever he read out there, I don't really care. I'm not aligned with any of those parties. But this isn't a response. This isn't an answer to the question that the opposition leader presented. Why did the Labour Party lie to Australian voters, or whatever it was, about the capital gains and that sort of stuff? This is not an answer to that. I suppose if the first part of his response is his answer, because we wanted to provide a better future for the future generations, that still doesn't answer the question. Like, it was a lie. You made a promise. You said for the 50th time, no, we're not. And now question time, that's not an answer. Like, so are you saying you didn't have the thoughts of future generations in your planning or in your forethought at the start when you were making the promise to not touch capital gains tax and negative gearing? Like, I don't understand that. Like, again, it's not an answer. It doesn't. Politicians are very well versed in just not answering anything and looking to try to baffle and bamboozle people. You need people to so I hope the opposition leader stands up and readdress the question again, because it hasn't been answered. At least as I sit here. Labor members will disagree and say he's answered it perfectly. He hasn't. He's just distracted and gone on. After saying that for future generations, he's then grabbed a quote from opposition people, treasurer or whatever, finance minister, from February this year, and just read out something in there, which again does not answer the question, why did you lie? It's crazy, man. People can't see it. The Speaker of the House can't see it. What purpose does the Speaker of the House serve? Apart from saying order, order, kicking people out for having props. Like, do they not have any, do they have the blinkers on? Are they just Labor government aligned, or whichever government is in power at the time? Are they appointed by that government and therefore, they bend the knee to make sure that, in this case, the Labor Prime Minister is protected or looked after? How does the Speaker of the House not see that the question hasn't been answered? Apparently, there's plenty of intelligent people in this room with degrees and gone to university and stuff. They are more than likely the people that should not be leading the country or the countries. I don't know who should be leading the country, but there are that many bloody weasels in this place, male and female, clearly, that are not doing the right things, or seem to be not doing the right things.
When reflecting on how well they were going in replacing the former member for Farrer as leader by this bloke here.
So again, he didn't answer the question. He went on a deflection, trying to distract, and then changing the topic and subject, probably in the hopes of the opposition leader asking a different question or responding, baiting the opposition to then start responding to that. But hopefully the opposition leader stands his ground and sticks with the original question, because the Albanese and the Labor government haven't answered it. But that's my take anyway. I could be wrong. Interested to hear people's comments or thoughts. Do you think Albo's answered that question, whether you're a Labor supporter or not? And if you think he's answered the question, how did he answer it? How does it answer the direct question, why did the Labor government lie about capital gains tax? Then go back and have a look at all the times he was asked questions about, will he be making changes to the capital gains tax and negative gearing? Same question over and over again by multiple different people, male, female, different networks, etc. He kept saying the same thing. No, we won't. No, we won't be. If we haven't, why haven't we done it already? Well, the proof is in the pudding. We've got no plans on touching capital gains tax or negative gearing for the 50th time. Like, there is a litany of media content that has Albanese at the forefront saying these things, making these promises in response to questions that were asked, and now they've changed their position, or it is a change to their policy. What is it? George Bush, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on. You fool me, you can't fool me again, or whatever it was that he says when he loses his thought. I have no idea what that saying is or where it comes from. But it was funny. I think George Bush said, we got a saying down in Texas, where I believe he's from. Well, clearly he doesn't know the saying. But this just seems like Albanese looking to bamboozle the room. And maybe he has. So let's hear what the opposition has to say. It's probably going to fall into, I don't know if it's a trap or what, but instead of just sticking to the question is what I think he should do, which is what I hope he does. The PM, they've got tools in their kete to try to distract and deflect from questions that have been put to them, and standing up and speaking verbal diarrhea without actually answering the question.
Has the Prime Minister concluded his answer? The Leader of the Opposition on point of order.
Relevance, Mr Speaker. The question was about Labor's lies.
Hey! Maybe there's hope for me yet in being in politics. Like, it's pretty annoying seeing Andrew Hastie's face in this screenshot, I'll be fair. But for not having seen this clip before and me yapping on, I'm glad that this, I don't know, what's his name? Angus, whatever this guy's name is, opposition leader. Relevance, the question was, yeah. Let's go back, hang on.
On the point of order.
Relevance, Mr Speaker. The question was about Labor's lies.
Order.
Love it. Now Albo will be sitting there scratching his bloody fat head, wondering, or not literally, but maybe, okay, how do I answer that? Crap, he's come back with the actual original question. He hasn't fallen into the trap or decided to talk anymore about what I just read out.
Order. Well, if you're going to ask a question like that, you're going to get quite the answer. Order.
Who is this fat pork chop as the speaker? Well, if you are going to ask a question like that, so is this guy Labor? If you are going to ask a question like that, you're going to get quite the answer. That to me doesn't sound like somebody who's supposed to be, if he's supposed to be, impartial. I look at him, it looks like some fat slob that couldn't even have the decency to acknowledge the bow that the person gave to him when he left the room, when he listened to the instruction. And now it seems like, he can't even acknowledge that from the opposition leader, that the question, which was very specific and relevant, was to do with lies and Labor's lies to the people. Instead, this Lincoln blob sitting up on the chair says, well, if you ask a question like that, you're going to get quite the answer. Is there no end to this corruption within the space? Like, people can't see it? Or these people think that other people can't see it? Like that, I don't know, but that sounds dodgy as hell to me from this person sitting up in the chair to say a response like that. You shouldn't even be saying anything like that. You should just be acknowledging the opposition leader. Thank you again for drawing attention to your actual question. We'll hand the time back to the Prime Minister. That's what somebody who I think is supposed to be impartial or trying to manage the room, that's how they should be communicating. Rubbish. I don't know. What are your thoughts? It sounds suspect as to me.
There's just far too much noise. I know everyone seems exercised.
Well, there's not that much noise now, Fatso. I'm getting quite upset now. It's quietened down a heck of a lot more from what it was. You're just giving more time for Albanese to gather his conniving, lying, manipulative little thoughts before he stands up at that bloody... What are those things? Are they treasure chests? Bloody full of gold or something in there?
Today, but we are going to show restraint and respect. We just cannot have this continue.
Oh, shut up, man. Just hurry up and let Albo get back up and talk.
I ask the Prime Minister to be directly relevant to the question.
Finally, that's all you should have said, Fatso. Not you ask a question like that and you're going to get quite the answer. That should have been that should have been all you needed to say. Like, it was quiet enough. The opposition stood up, said relevance. That's what you should have said at the start. I asked the Prime Minister to be directly relevant to the question, or whatever word you said. That's all you needed to say, not that other rubbish.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Well, when I talk to young Australians who are this close...
What the hell? So that, again, he's going off on a story trying to bring in young Australians. Who are these young Australians? How many young Australians did you speak to? Where's the evidence, eh? When you're like, oh, did she though? Did she though? Where's the evidence of that? Where's the evidence of your conversations with the young Australians that inspired your change and reneging on your lie to not touch capital gains or negative gearing? How many young people was it that you spoke with? Where are these particular young people that were cheering you on, saying, yeah, do this is going to make it a lot better for us? Instead, he's going to go off on some bloody tangent.
To giving up any opportunity to aspire to own their own home. When I speak to their parents and grandparents who...
So now you're saying you spoke to their parents and grandparents as well as these young people.
Say that they are worried that their children and grandchildren will never be able to own their own home.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. That's the same in many places, same here in New Zealand, where there'll be parents and grandparents concerned that their children won't be able to even get into the housing market, let alone own their own home. That's not just unique to there. But how does changing or making the changes that you've done, capital gains and negative gearing, improve and increase their chances in conjunction with the investing and everything else that you've done and or changed?
What we are not prepared to do is just sit back and kick the can further down the road.
We've heard your Treasurer gob that off and say we're not prepared to kick the can down the road. There is still no answer to the relevant question that has been asked so far. And we don't have much time left. Less than 30 seconds.
What we are doing is acting in support of aspiration.
So we're acting in support of aspiration, acting in whatever other rubbish he's doing, acting in our best interests, I hope is what you add in there as well, because you are not answering the question yet again. Mad. Australia, do something about this. I'm over here in New Zealand and it's bloody annoying. It's sad. It's disheartening to see and hear. The guy, I like the comment, he couldn't lie straight in bed. He can't give a direct, straight answer to a very simple question. Actually, it's not a simple question. It's a heavy question, but it deserves a direct and honest answer. And there is no directness, there is no honesty in here, from what I'm hearing. So Real News, honest views. Sadly, there's no honest replies.
Support of growing the economy, acting in support of housing supply, because the difference between investing in an existing home with negative gearing is it benefits the investor, but if you invest in a new home, it benefits the investor and it benefits the nation.
Hear, hear. What a crock of blinking bull tucks. If it were that clear to see. And if it was true, one nation wouldn't be having the rise or experiencing the rise that they are right now. So I don't know where who's advising Albanese. I don't know how this has come about, but seems like a crock of shit. Anyway, that's my reaction. That took about 25 minutes. The video is only bloody 5.5 minutes. Interested to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Whether you're for or against Labor, shed some light, enlighten me as well. This bloody question time, the blob sitting up in the chair, Mr. Speaker. Your thoughts on his comments about, or if you ask a question like that, you can expect quite the answer. That doesn't sound like somebody it sounds like somebody who's in the other person's camp to me. And in this case, seems like he's in the Labour's camp. Like that's, it's a load of rubbish. Have they done that? Is that what they've done? Put their own Labour supporter person in the Speaker's chair? The whole process just seems ridiculous. The bowing and all that sort of stuff. What's the point of that? Like, what value does that add to the overall process? And ultimately getting to the heart of, challenges, issues, concerns, and or indeed answers to bloody straight up questions about deceit and lying. I don't think it serves any purpose. But anyway, that's just me. That's that for that reaction. And we'll see you on the next video, peeps.